Yo, what's up everybody? It's Curtis! Welcome to InformedTouristA.I. Ready to dive deep into this video? Today we're talking about cities that should feel packed with people but are surprisingly empty. We're talking sprawling landscapes, ghost towns, and places that just feel off. Like you walk down the street expecting the hustle and bustle, but it's just you and the pigeons. Trust me, this isn't your average travel vlog. Stay until the end to discover the one thing that connects all these cities and how it might change the way you think about urban living forever. First up, we're heading to the southwest to a city that's practically synonymous with wide open spaces, Tucson, Arizona. Now, Tucson has a decent population, almost 550,000 people call it home. But here's the thing, Tucson is huge. We're talking 241 square miles. That's like cramming the entire population of Miami into a city the size of Chicago. You start to feel that emptiness when you're driving. Endless stretches of desert highway neighborhoods where the houses are a football field apart. It's beautiful, sure, but there's this undeniable feeling of isolation. And get this, Tucson's population density has actually been dropping over the past decade. People are leaving, or they're just more spread out than ever. It begs the question, would you trade the energy of a bustling city for the tranquility of wide open spaces? Let me know in the comments. Next stop, we're hitting the Big Easy, New Orleans. Now, when you think of New Orleans, you probably picture Mardi Gras, Bourbon Street, crowds of people going wild. And yeah, during those peak times, the city is electric. But year-round, New Orleans paints a different picture. See, New Orleans is one of the least densely populated major cities in the US. Over 2,000 people per square mile might not sound empty, but trust me, it feels different down there. You can walk for blocks in some neighborhoods and barely see a soul. And the thing is, it wasn't always this way. Hurricane Katrina in 2005 changed everything. The storm displaced nearly the entire population, leaving the city reeling. People have come back, slowly rebuilding their lives, but the city hasn't fully recovered. Empty lots where houses once stood, boarded up businesses that never reopened. The question is, can New Orleans ever fully bounce back? Or will it always bear the scars of that devastating storm? Let's talk about Memphis, Tennessee. Home of Elvis, birthplace of rock and roll, a city steeped in musical history. But beneath the surface, Memphis is grappling with a different tune, one of emptiness and struggle. With a population density of just under 300 people per square mile, it's a far cry from the bustling metropolis you might expect. You see, Memphis, like many cities across America, is wrestling with issues like poverty, crime, and a lack of opportunity. These factors, unfortunately, have led to an exodus of residents seeking a better life elsewhere. Walking through certain parts of Memphis, you'll encounter neighborhoods dotted with vacant homes, a stark reminder of the families who once called this city home. But here's the thing about Memphis. Despite these challenges, the spirit of the city endures. The question is, can Memphis overcome these obstacles and reclaim its place as a thriving metropolis? Chapter 4. Tulsa, can cash cure emptiness? Next up, we're heading to the heartland, to a city that's trying to buy its way out of emptiness, Tulsa, Oklahoma. Now, Tulsa has a population density even lower than Memphis, around 285 people per square mile. But here's the twist. Tulsa's population is actually growing. How? They're paying people to move there. Seriously, it's called Tulsa Remote, and they're offering remote workers 10 grand to relocate. Free money to live in a city with more space than you can shake a stick at? Sounds crazy, right? And it's working. People are flocking to Tulsa, drawn by the low cost of living, the wide open spaces, and the promise of a fresh start. But here's the catch. Even with this influx of new residents, Tulsa still feels kind of empty. The question is, can money buy happiness? Or, in Tulsa's case, can it buy a sense of community and belonging? Only time will tell. Chapter 5. Virginia Beach tourist trap or empty promise? Let's be real, you know Virginia Beach. Sun, sand, surf, tourists, everywhere you look. During the summer months, it's a full-blown invasion. But what happens when the tourists pack up their beach towels and head home? Virginia Beach takes a hard left into emptiness. Imagine this, you're strolling down the boardwalk, the air is crisp, the waves are crashing, and wait, where is everyone? With a year-round population density of just over 1,800 people per square mile, Virginia Beach feels like a different world once the tourists disappear. Part of it is the sheer size of the place. Virginia Beach stretches over 240 square miles with sprawling suburbs and neighborhoods that feel miles away from the action. It's enough to make you wonder if all those summer memories were just a mirage. Chapter 6, Kansas City, Suburban Sprawl or Urban Void. Kansas City, a city known for its barbecue, jazz, and being surprisingly empty? You heard that right. Kansas City might have a population of over 500,000 people, but it's spread out over such a vast area that it feels strangely deserted. Think about it. 1,619 people per square mile. That's like taking the entire population of Manhattan and scattering them across the state of Rhode Island. It's a recipe for a whole lot of space and not a whole lot of human interaction. Now, some people might love that. The peace and quiet, the wide open skies, the feeling of having room to breathe. But for others it can feel isolating, disconnected, like living in a concrete jungle without the jungle part. So the question is, can Kansas City find a way to revitalize its urban core and bring back that sense of vibrancy and community? Get ready to be surprised because our next stop is a city known for its honky-tonks, hot chicken, and surprising emptiness. That's right, we're talking about Nashville, Tennessee. Now, I know what you're thinking. Nashville? Empty? But hear me out. Yes, Nashville is a tourist magnet, drawing in millions of visitors each year who come to experience the city's legendary music scene. But beneath the neon lights and the sounds of country music, there's a different story unfolding. Nashville, despite its booming tourism industry, has a surprisingly low population density, just 1,456 people per square mile. So, what's going on here? Well, Nashville, like many rapidly growing cities, is grappling with a unique set of challenges. As more and more people flock to the city, drawn by its booming economy and vibrant culture, they're putting a strain on the city's infrastructure and housing market. And while Nashville is working hard to address these challenges, the growing pains are definitely real. Chapter 8, Jacksonville, the Sunshine State's empty giant. Hold on to your hats, folks, because we're about to dive into a city that's big on space and surprisingly short on people. Jacksonville, Florida. Now, Jacksonville is massive. We're talking nearly 1 million residents spread out over a whopping 747 square miles. That's larger than the entire state of Rhode Island. But here's the kicker. Despite its sprawling size and sizable population, Jacksonville has a surprisingly low population density, just around 1,300 people per square mile. Now you might be thinking, but Casey, Florida is known for its beaches, its theme parks, its retirees. And you'd be right, but Jacksonville is a different breed of Sunshine State city. It's a city of sprawling suburbs, winding waterways, and a pace of life that's decidedly more laid back than its South Florida counterparts. It's a city where you can still find a sense of peace and quiet, even in the heart of the city. Chapter 9, Oklahoma City, Boomtown or Bust. Hold on to your cowboy hats, folks, because we're about to mosey on over to a city that's riding the wave of a population boom while still holding on to its wide-open spaces. Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Now, Oklahoma City, much like its neighbor Tulsa, has been experiencing a surge in new residents, drawn by its affordability, its job market, and its surprisingly hip vibe. But here's the thing. Even with this influx of newcomers, Oklahoma City still feels, well, spacious. With a population density of just 1,146 people per square mile, it's a city where you can still stretch out your legs and breathe in the fresh air. Now, some might attribute this to Oklahoma's unpredictable weather. Those tornadoes aren't exactly a selling point for everyone. Others might point to the state's economic challenges, which, despite recent improvements, still linger in the minds of many. But here's the thing about Oklahoma City. It's a city that's comfortable in its own skin. Chapter 10, Anchorage, the last frontier of empty cities. Get ready to bundle up, folks, because we're about to embark on a journey to a city that takes emptiness to a whole new level. Anchorage, Alaska. Now, Anchorage is a city of contradictions, a modern metropolis surrounded by untamed wilderness, a place where you can see a moose on your morning commute and grab a latte on your way to work. But one thing that sets Anchorage apart from every other city on this list is its sheer vastness. With a population density of just 168 people per square mile, Anchorage is a city where you can truly feel the immensity of nature. Imagine this. You're driving down a seemingly endless highway, mountains towering in the distance, not a single building in sight. You pull over to take in the view, and the only sound you hear is the wind whistling through the trees. That's Anchorage in a nutshell. Now, this sense of isolation can be both exhilarating and daunting. Living in Anchorage means embracing the wilderness, respecting its power, and being prepared for anything. So, what did we learn? So, there you have it, folks, 10 US cities that feel surprisingly empty. From the sprawling deserts of Tucson to the frozen tundra of Anchorage, we've explored the reasons behind this phenomenon, from economic shifts and natural disasters to the rise of remote work and the allure of wide-open spaces. Thanks for watching InformedTouristA.I. Please hit the like button and subscribe. It's free and helps support the channel. And be sure to let me know in the comments which of these cities surprised you the most, and whether you'd ever consider trading in the hustle and bustle of city life for a little bit of peace and quiet. Now check out one of these videos if you want to learn more as an informed tourist.